Welcome to the Angus Conversation. I'm your host, Miranda Reiman, with my co-host, CEO of the American Angus Association, Mark McCully. And Mark, we're in Tulsa.
We're in Tulsa, the National Junior Angus Show, and it's a little hot and humid, but everybody's having an awesome time. We're off to a great start.
Yeah, today has already been a busy day. This is Monday, and these Junior Takeover podcasts will actually air the end of the week,
right.
But we started out with a busy day with a new showmanship contest.
Yeah. We actually, things were going on yesterday. We had even the carcass steers were headed out. We've got, showmanship going on, the new showmanship contest that's going on here today. We have over 400 kids coming through 2 rings at the junior and intermediate divisions. We've got, extemporaneous speaking contests, lots of contests. Anybody that's ever been to one of these knows that there's a contest or something to get participate in every day, and the barns are full, and we got I think close to 1,000 heifers and bulls and steers here to compete over the next few days.
Very good. I was just going to ask if you knew those numbers off the top of your head.
Well, I don't, but Caitlin shares them with me, so I can break it down into all the details, but that's not what you're asking, was it?
So back by popular demand this year, we are doing the Junior Takeover edition, where we've got juniors coming on to both help us co-host the podcast, but also deliver kind of 3 rapid-fire podcasts where we can delve into just different aspects of what's going on in the Angus Juniors' lives.
Yeah, these are going to be a lot of fun. We've got so many great young folks to be able to talk to. They've got such great stories. We got kids from all over the country. Some that are kind of early on in their show career and first or second times here, and then there's some of these kids that have been coming 8, 10 more years.
Well, and we've got 3 very focused themes that we're kind of working from this year. Angus entrepreneurs, so folks that are working in business. We've got some people that have done some really cool international travel, so Angus Goes Global, I guess we'd call that one. And then folks that are going to come in and talk a little bit about how they found their community in Angus. So today we started out with those Angus entrepreneurs.
Yeah, two young folks that have started their businesses, and they kind of talk about kind of where the ideas came from and how they're growing their businesses today and kind of where they're going with them in the future. So some great takeaways.
So juniors, if you are listening to this podcast, I would say you can learn something from them and maybe get some ideas of your own if you've got that entrepreneurial bug. And parents and others in the industry that are listening, I would just say this is your call to go support those young business people either in your community or across the internet.
Absolutely.
So our guest co-host today from the National Junior Angus Board is Suter Clark. Suter, you're from?
I'm from Gretna, Virginia.
Very good. And this is your second year on the board.
Yes,
you're the
ma'am,
events coordinator.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about what the junior board will be doing this week. You guys have a lot of responsibilities here at the show.
So at the beginning of the week, we checked in all the cattle, and today we're doing the junior showmanship competition. And then throughout the week,
first ever junior showmanship competition, right? Yeah.
Junior showmanship.
This was a big decision you guys made as a board
Yes,
to kind of break from tradition a little bit and to introduce this showmanship competition, and we're getting to watch it kind of right now
sir.
Yeah. Congratulations. It's a successful event so far.
Thank you. I think it is going very well.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your guys' decision to bring that. What led you to say we want to add this to the show?
So a few of us have attended kind of the other junior nationals, and we've seen what a positive impact that has on those families and just overall enjoyment factor of it. And we as a board made a recommendation to the adult board that we were in favor of adding this on as a contest.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think 400 and some kids will go through the ring today.
Yes,
so
sir.
It
That's
was
correct.
Very well received.
I think so.
Yeah.
Good.
And you're Oklahoma State.
Yes, sir.
And Stillwater. Back home, you were telling me this summer in your family's family business that
Yes, sir.
maybe you plan to maybe head back to at some point.
Yes, sir. Yep, I'm getting a animal science degree and a construction management degree as well from Oklahoma State. And my family has a medium-sized general contracting firm. And yeah.
the general contracting firm to pay for the cattle. Is that the way it works?
No, it's the other way around. It's the other way
yeah,
around.
That's right. I got it. Yeah. Very good. Well, that's part of the reason we asked Suter to be the co-host here today, because we're going to talk a little bit about business with some Angus Juniors that we have. So
Entrepreneurs.
That's right. We've got some young entrepreneurs with us. And I guess, Suter, I'm going to let you maybe introduce a guest or two that we have here.
Okay. Well, first off, we have Kasey Meyer and
Kasey, you're from Blue Hill, Nebraska?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your, so I guess you've got a cattle operation there. What are you doing here this week?
So I'm from Blue Hill, Nebraska, and I recently finished 2 years at the local community college, Central Community College, where I got an associate's in an agricultural science degree. And I'm going back to our family farm, helping out with that, staying in the cattle business. And I'm also kind of branching out and doing my own show heifer sale, working on that. And I've been lucky enough for the Del Porto family to invite me onto their sale and have a few heifers on there. So I have that. And I also am doing my own tag engraving business that I recently started on the side as well.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to learning more about that. We're going to introduce our other guests here so that we've got Corbin Russell from Paxico, Kansas.
Yep, that's right. Northeast Kansas. Go Cats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good. And tell us about your journey.
Yeah, so started doing leather work at the age of 7, going into junior, so I'm 16, and just enjoy it. And I also help dad at home occasionally, work a few other jobs, mowing grass and working outside, spraying pasture and whatnot. And this week I'm participating in contests, so we unloaded the carcass steers last night, compete in extemp earlier today. We'll do team sales, skill-a-thon, quiz bowl, and livestock judging or cow judging.
So we're going to get you on the podcast before you're talked out at the end of the week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Very good.
And you just finished extemporaneous
Yep.
this morning,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Very good. Very
you got
good.
a feeling how that went?
I could have done better. But there's always room for improvement. So.
Well, that's the mark of a good competitor,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And Kasey, you were telling me you brought a bull and 3 heifers. Did I get that right?
Yes, a bull and 3 heifers.
Okay. Awesome. All owned heifers or bred and owned?
I have 2 owned, a PG heifer, and then bred and owned bull.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. Very good.
So you're busy a lot of the days.
Yeah.
I have one every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and
I
spread
could've
out.
spread it
Except
out.
today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
And in showmanship,
Yes, I'm doing the National Showmanship Contest.
congratulations for
Thank you.
qualifying for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're glad we were able to find like a few minutes of time for you guys to all join us,
Yeah,
because you've got really busy schedules.
We did have to pull Suter out of the ring, though, and we don't know if Caitlin knows that we stole you yet. So
I think she'll be all right.
yeah, that's right. Hopefully somebody else is picking up the slack down there. So I guess to jump into today's topic, just maybe whichever one of you wants to start first, just tell us a little bit about how you got your start, what got you interested in kind of pursuing that entrepreneurial side.
First off, for the show cattle, I'll talk about that and selling that business. I've always shown cattle as long as I could, and my sister was older than me, so I always watched it, and I've loved it, and I just always knew that was something that I wanted to come back to. And luckily, this association has brought many connections for me, and I'm very thankful for the Del Porto family on helping me get started with selling the show heifers and inviting me onto their sales. So that's what got me started there, kind of, and hopefully I can branch out and have my own someday. And then the engraving, I kind of wanted something just of my own to do, and that's still related to the cattle and everything, and something that is needed, that many people always need, and something.
So did you just kind of discover that as a need? Which is the gift I think entrepreneurs have.
Yeah.
They go out and they find a need, and then they go pursue it.
Yeah, I kind of I had heard a couple people doing it around, and just looked into it more, did some research and on the machines and everything, and thought that was something that I could pursue.
So was there quite a bit of like startup and equipment, or can you do it
Yeah,
pretty easy with some hand kind of tools, or what's it all
No,
take?
the equipment's pretty
Intense?
Yeah, it is pretty
Yeah.
intense, and it takes some learning, that's for sure, because it's a like diamond cut drilling thing.
Yeah.
But it was fun to learn and interesting, so that's for sure.
Did you like have to go to the bank and take out with a business plan
or sell a few heifers?
Yeah, there was some investment into it for sure, but
yeah.
I think it'll all pay off. I was very busy this spring doing it. That's kind of when I started it. We have our spring bull sale, and that's where I launched it and got a lot of business there. So
sure, so
it's
they
been
can
going
see
well.
your work kind of right out there on display.
Yep.
Yeah, that's neat.
No, it's been going really well.
Cool.
So is this an online platform?
I
You sell
do
these
have
on?
this online. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, KLM Engraving.
Very
Yes.
good.
Nice.
And Corbin, how'd you get into the leather
At
work?
7? You
Yeah,
started
at 7. Yeah, so it got started through 4-H, but one day my dad dropped me off at a local boot and saddle repair shop, and it just kind of took off from there. I don't really remember that far back, but obviously I enjoyed it enough. So the first main goal was just to make items for me that I could use every day that I liked, because you don't want to go to the store and buy a cheap junky belt, because I see those and kind of just cringe at it. And then after that, I started making gifts for people and whatnot. So I made a wedding sign, for example, and then I realized, people want to order items. So I think 2020 was the first year I said I came in business and started selling items and whatnot. So they're mainly custom items, and so that comes with some challenges, down payments and whatnot. But right now it's just kind of call me up and I'll do a project. So
What's the strangest request you've had, or maybe most unique? We won't call it strange in
Oh,
case they're listening.
Just different designs. Like one kid wanted a dragon on a coaster.
Wow.
Okay.
So that really isn't my cup of tea. It's mainly just doing belts, walls, checkbook covers, and whatnot. But, yep.
So Kasey's business took quite a bit of kind of front end with some equipment. Can you start in the leather works with some hand tools, or does it have some startup to it as well?
It has quite a bit of startup. Luckily, I have a neighbor that was close by that was willing to help. But I used income from other businesses. Like my sister and I work and raise bulls for a bigger cooperator, so I've gotten money through steers and selling bulls and whatnot. But you can buy hand tools for relatively cheap. But if you want to buy a sewing machine, they're $1,500 if you want to get a decent one. So
Wow.
and they go up from there.
Sure. And if
Yeah.
you don't have a sewing machine, that kind of limits what you can create.
Kind of, yeah. There's a fella on YouTube, Aaron Heiser. Every video that he makes, he says you don't have to have a sewing machine, so he always hand sews in his videos because he doesn't want to exclude all people. But yeah, so it takes some startup costs.
Sure. Just like you don't have to have a riding lawnmower, but doing it with the
Yeah.
push mower the whole time, not as much fun. Yeah, very good. And Suter, when you think about your guys' family business, how did you get interested in that and want to maybe pursue a degree that you think you want to come back to it?
So I've always been around it and really enjoyed building things and working with my hands, and I've done it. You could call it an internship, but summer help for probably the last 5 years of my life.
Is that a paid or unpaid internship in
It
the
is a
family?
paid
Oh, that's
internship.
good. You got a sweet gig.
That's right. That's right. And so now that I've kind of gotten a bit of education in the field,
Mm-hmm.
I am now no longer doing as much laboring. I'm doing a lot more office work and kind of learning everything that our business has to offer.
Sure. So that's a good point. I mean, you guys started out with what I would say was a hobby for yourself and then turned it into a business. Probably the show cattle operation would be much the same. It was a
Yep.
hobby for yourself. And then how do you transition from hobby to I'm going to make money at this? So those are kind of two different things.
Yeah, for me it was kind of a drive, like, I can make money off of this, let's do this. But you run into a lot of time management problems, and that's what I'm into right now. And also get dried out, and I haven't touched any leather tools in about a month because I'm busy and gone. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say with the show cattle, I mean, when we're younger, our parents do a lot for us, and we love coming to shows and hanging out with friends and then going and showing. And as you get older and realize you want to do this long term, you realize there's a lot more that goes into it. And
There was expenses you didn't even know
yeah,
about.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of realizing that and transitioning into doing that and figuring it all out.
For sure. Yeah. We're going to pause just a moment as we hear from the sponsor of the Junior Takeover.
My name is Nick Jorgensen. I'm the CEO of Jorgensen Land and Cattle here in Ideal, South Dakota. When it comes to getting forages put up, the most important thing for us is getting it done as efficiently as possible. And that's largely dictated by the equipment that you're using. So we've really focused on looking out in the industry and finding the best, most efficient equipment that we can find out there. If you don't have equipment that's reliable and that runs well when you get it in the field and stays running, you're going to have a hard time. Vermeer products are a big reason that we can get more done in a day.
See how Vermeer helps Angus producers do more at vermeer.com/Angus.
We thank Vermeer for their support of the coverage from Junior Show. And now back to that conversation. And with the custom cattle tags, how did you figure out what you could have as a break even or a price point that was going to work?
Yeah, we've gone through, when I first started, I just kind of had a startup price and stuff that it was pretty break even at that point. And now that I've gotten more into it and gotten some business, I did some deals to start with to just get business and get my name out there, but now I'm kind of figuring the price and everything, and we've changed prices some. So just growing the business, but still trying to stay profitable and everything.
Sure. Yeah.
So when you guys think about your business, I mean, any business has all different kinds of pieces and parts, right? It's got a production piece, it's got a sales piece, it's got a marketing. Is there any
logistics,
right? Customer service. I mean, it's got all these different pieces and parts. And as an entrepreneur with your own business, you get to do all of them. But is there one or two that you like doing the most?
I think I really like just interacting with the customers because it's a lot of cattlemen around here that I get a lot of business just from word of mouth and people that I may not even have heard of or anything. So interacting with them and making those new connections has been a really fun part. And I like the social media side as well and promoting the business.
Marketing and
Exact same thing here.
Yeah.
Same part of it that you like the most?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and especially where you are working on something that's so unique for each customer, it's customized to them. I mean, I suppose that end goal of that they're happy with your product is really fulfilling.
Yep, you bet.
Very good.
What's the biggest mistake you've made in your business so far? Or have you been?
Are you going to admit it on the podcast?
I don't know if I kind of just started in March, so I haven't had any. I mean, I'll definitely mess a few tags up, but
Sure.
Other than that, I don't know if I have anything huge yet.
Oh, it's probably time management for me. I really need to get better at it, and organization also, because sometimes I go around the shop looking for a tool. If I would have cleaned it, then maybe I would have known exactly where it is, so I save some time there. But people do say, if you have a clean shop, you're probably not working very hard. And then also, I got a
Don't say that. That gives my dad an excuse.
also got a diss on the postal service here. I don't like mailing stuff through them. But,
that's fair. Angus Media, we're shaking our heads at that too. Yeah. We've had some, major misses that aren't even our fault because of that. Yeah, that's a great point. I thought maybe you were going to say your biggest mistake was taking on the dragon client because you had to learn how to draw a dragon.
No. I turned that down.
That's right. That's funny. So how much of it do you like both of you guys have a creativity aspect to that too, I assume. I guess maybe, is there a creative aspect to the tags?
There's a little bit of design, when people bring brands or logos, some of the brands I just have to design, but I usually have stuff to go off of.
Sure. Yeah. And you get to do quite a bit of the creative work then how you're going to fit their vision into what you're doing.
Yeah, fortunately and unfortunately. But mom's pretty good on a computer, so she can, and she knows some folks that can, if I get a PDF of the brand, then it's pretty simple there. But do have to go back one step. One mistake that I made is not getting into the floral tooling and carving sooner, because that's where a lot of people like. And I still need to learn how to draw, because you can buy patterns and whatnot of floral.
Oh, sure.
So I just need to work on that quite a bit.
Belts and purses, wallets.
Yeah, because if you can draw floral, you can do anything. So.
Is that right? Yeah, that's super interesting. So how did you guys first find a market for your services?
I feel like the tags I'm doing are permanently engraved tags, and a lot of the people around us anyway use either just markers or are doing their own that take a lot of time, and then they end up wearing off. So I feel like once you promote that some guys may come order just some for their replacement heifers and then realize, oh man, these are nice, they don't wear off, and then come back and then you have a customer every year. So
And they didn't have to do it.
Do you try to focus more on show cattle with maybe more of a premium tag, or some of these just herd management tags?
A lot of the ones that I've been doing so far are kind of just ranch, like just ranches herd management ones. But I am also going to be, I definitely will promote that a lot more in the fall and like during sales and stuff. So.
Suter, we're not giving you a chance to ask any questions. As you can see, Mark and I are both into this business topic.
Yes.
Any other burning questions on your mind here that we're...
So you guys spoke about relationships a little bit. And would you say that that's probably one of your biggest selling points is the relationships? You have a lot of repeat customers and a lot of word of mouth.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably been the biggest way that I'll get business is, as I said, I launched this like during our bull sale, and some of those guys ordered, and then I would get calls like, my friend told me this guy told me blah blah blah. So that's definitely how most of my business has been started.
Yeah, lots of word of mouth. There's been a few repeat customers, so I thank them for that, but I can't get everything done. So
And how do you see what do you see in your guys' near future or in the far future with both of your businesses? Do you think that those relationships will continue to grow, and do you guys have any plans on ways you could expand and get bigger? Or?
Yeah, I think those relationships will continue to grow. I'm kind of just hoping that this fall, summer's a little slow because most people already have ordered tags, but this fall again for sales, and once those start up again, I'm hoping that it continues to grow well and get more and more business.
Cool.
Same. Although I heard the time management in yours, and I'm wondering if that's also like, you're also a student, you're also doing these other jobs, you probably have a certain level.
You are a junior in high school, right? Yeah, okay. Just
Yeah.
I want
ambitious.
I want to grow and expand, but I'll probably be a one man show for the near coming future. It's definitely not going to be my full-time job when I get out there, but it'll always be a side
friends
hustle.
that you can recruit and teach them,
You
and
know,
then you can
I
scale
actually
your business.
do. I do.
Yeah.
So I currently have 2 students. I thank them for coming, but I have I'm gonna get their ages wrong, but I think a 10 and a 12-year-old. They're both
so cool.
They're both pretty cool. But yeah, so maybe you could recruit them and come work for me. But yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is great. Very good.
But if I'm putting my maker stamp on it, I kind of want it to be my quality, my specs.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but other shops manage that as well. So
Sure. I'm sure that's something, Suter, you guys deal with in the construction business too, just keeping good people hired and
Yes,
that
ma'am.
live up to your standard of work. And
Yep, we've been around since 1911, so relationships are what we are built on.
Yeah.
absolutely. And the Angus business, I'm sure you guys are making some relationships here this week that you can continue to carry on in your businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How many junior shows have you been to?
My first National Junior Angus show was here actually 10 years ago.
Wow.
So this is my 10th one, and next year will be my last one.
Okay. Suter?
I think this is my 11th.
11?
I think so.
yeah, this will be my 4th. We messed up not coming here back in 2020.
That was a
Yeah.
crazy year. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a crazy
Yeah,
year.
but we've been going to state shows and
Sure.
local Angus shows for quite a few years. So
Yeah.
It's only my third mark, so
Really?
yeah, I'm the novice here.
We
so.
need to get you out more.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Very good. So talk a little bit about how what you're doing in your businesses, I mean, does that carry over into your cattle project at all, or are there things you've learned from your cattle enterprises that have helped you in your, as you launched other businesses?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd say so. I'll think of something here.
Right.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think just being a part of the National Junior Angus Association and doing all the contests and coming to these shows and making connections and putting yourself out there, doing it from a young age really helps you. And as you grow older, you realize how important those connections become within your business and growing it and starting it.
Sure. Especially where you've got such a cattle focused business.
Yes,
as well.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I'd say it's extemp because it's the most real life thing that you can get to because you got your problem, you got a short amount of time to do it, and then you got to present
You
it
gotta
to them.
figure
it
out.
So,
Yep.
yep.
Gotta fix it, think on your feet. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a great point. Yeah, very good.
Have you been able to use these your work and your businesses also in like you guys like in FFA or have been able to do other things with these in terms of some of the
Yeah, or
proficiency
class
awards,
project
class
or-
projects. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did my first SAE in the spring, and
Yeah.
so I submitted that. So we'll improve off of that next year, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, those SAEs kind of build on each other too, so
Mhm.
you'll have the opportunity to grow and submit. Yeah.
Yep, same here. When I was in high school, my SAE project was also with the cattle. So
Yeah.
for sure.
Very good. How about, did you do what do they call the work at SAE, or were you not an FFA, Suter?
I did not have the opportunity to be an
Yeah.
FFA.
I feel your pain. I was the same way. We didn't have that, so I'm still learning all of that. But
Yep.
I do know that there's some people that put in quite a few hours too, doing the
Definitely.
SAEs where they work for a business.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good.
And I want to brag because Miranda won't brag on her kiddos, but Carson, your oldest, also an entrepreneur, started a potato business, right? How many
That is
years
true.
ago?
Yeah, he started when he was like 8th grade to 9th grade year, but that is probably what got me
Uh-huh.
interested in this topic, is that he at a young age took on planting an acre of potatoes, and now he's up to, I don't know, he sells something like 10,000 pounds of potatoes. Sorry, Carson, if you listen to this, I've probably gotten it wrong. But does kind of big sales in town where he'll sell 500 to 600 pounds at a time, and
That's awesome.
yeah, has a 1945 potato harvester. That was his first thing he learned, was that digging them by hand was a lot of work, so we had to get some mechanization involved. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a really fun project, and he's learned a lot about marketing through that too. Also has a Facebook page, and has his Reiman Spuds business. So
Yeah. Well, and just the business fundamentals, right? Of knowing what your costs are, knowing what your, what you've got to sell it for to make a little money. I mean, early on, as you talked about, sometimes you gotta prime the pump and maybe give some of that business away a little bit, but to get some of that, but know what your expenses are and your costs, and be able to make a margin and a profit, and time management and marketing and all the cool things that you guys are learning. Yeah.
a lot of supply and demand in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the income that comes into the business goes right back into it. So I haven't taken any money from it. So thankfully the cattle side and mowing side has propelled me through this, and I've been able to take out loans for myself. So my different bank accounts owe each other quite a bit of money. But yeah.
Carson did learn his very first year. A lot of people pay him in cash when they come to so he had all this cash, and he thought he was doing really good, and then it was time to order seed potatoes, and he had to order his spray and get drip irrigation and all that. And he said, all my money's gone. Everything I made last year, it's all gone. And I said, that's how you know you're
Welcome
a real
to
farmer.
farming.
That's how you know you're a real farmer, Carson.
Does he take out any crop insurance?
Yeah, no, and that was the other thing. I mean, you can learn real quick about the risks in the business too. But the one good thing about potatoes is, the cash crop is underground, so they can withstand quite a bit of weather and still come back. So that's one thing that's different from maybe a wheat field or soybeans or something like that. So very good.
So if young people are riding home from the junior show listening to this, that say, I want to start a business, what advice do you guys have for them? Where do they get started?
I got started into looking into something that interests me and fits into my lifestyle at the same time, and something that I know I could do long term too, and has a demand for people around me, and that will be helpful.
That's good advice.
Find a problem that you enjoy. I mean, problem's not something that you should enjoy, but fix it. Go find a problem and fix it. So go for it.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I'd agree with both of you guys. I think that if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's really not worth doing.
Yeah.
And solving problems is very enjoyable. I agree with you.
Absolutely. How about any advice that you would have for younger junior association members as they kind of think about embracing their career in the junior program? I know you're kind of nearing towards the end, and you're kind of right there in the middle of yours, but you got advice for students as they embark on the journey through the junior program?
Make those connections, and there's a million different contests to do. Whatever fits you, go out, find it, do it, make those connections, because by the end they pay off and can help you with your business and in the long run. So.
Definitely don't be afraid to try something new. I mean, you can try it one time. If you don't enjoy it, you don't have to do it again. But if you love it, you'll probably do it again 100 times if you could. So really just take that leap and try it out.
Sure.
Yep.
Amen.
I'm just going to ditto all
Yep,
of that.
yep.
Very good. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your very busy weeks with the contests and the animals you've got here and all of that and your junior board responsibilities to visit with us today for the podcast and share a little bit about your journey. Before I sign off, though, okay, you mentioned that you had a Instagram. I want you to repeat that. This is your time for free advertising.
Yes.
So
Yes, I have Facebook and Instagram at KLM Engraving, and also the show for sale with Del Porto Livestock this fall. So.
okay, excellent. And you got a
We're going to
plug
build
for...
Del Portos for that, though.
Yeah, that's
okay,
right.
we're just
Might
giving
be
you
free for
yeah,
you.
we're
That's
just giving
right.
you the comp.
Sorry, David.
Yeah, and then you can find me on Instagram, ckleather.Corbin Russell. Russell's got 2 L's, by the way.
Very good. And Corbin
But,
with
yeah.
a C.
Yep, Corbin with a C.
Okay.
Working on getting some other platforms, but
All right.
Very good. So if any of you out there listening are in the market for custom engraved
tags.
tags, show heifer, maybe
get
you
yourself
need
a belt.
get
Yeah.
yourself a belt
Not
or
one
a
of
wallet.
those crappy ones.
Yeah,
that you
Yeah.
can
no
find.
good. Pennies and get one.
Yeah, that's right. So very good. Well, we look forward to watching your guys' success and your businesses grow in the future. And thanks for visiting with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the first in our 3-part series of the Junior Takeover of this podcast. For all the results, behind-the-scenes stories, and extra photos from Tulsa, be sure to pick up your September copy of your Angus Journal. Not a subscriber? Visit angusjournal.net to learn more. This has been the Angus Conversation, an Angus Journal podcast.